What about the seasoning they put on the potato lays?
Oh, that's the stuff.
Dude,
there.
I'd love just a bottle. Because, dude, I could put that seasoning on all my own stuff, man.
That is good stuff.
Put that on a deer backstrap.
See, now that would probably be better than the fake potato.
Oh, yeah, and in the batter for my beer batter alligator.
What do you,
dude.
What do you use for batter?
Season that over
Hey,
the
James,
top.
are we rolling? No. We are. Okay, that's good to know.
I've been rolling for about 5 minutes, y'all.
It's
You know, it's...
You've been rolling since when?
And just never mind.
5-10 minutes. I think we started when we started something about
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
Oh, wow.
And now we're into alligator. So let me go on.
Perfect. Go on.
Seriously.
Let me get this out of the way. It's the Mike in the Mountain. Welcome to the podcast. I'm the Mike, and he's the Mountain. It's Brian, Gary, and Sots.
I knew you was going to do it again. I knew you were going to do it again.
He's Sots Cisco.
Jaquan.
Scott Cisco. We got to get name tags. That's all there is to it. So, nice to meet you. I'm Brian.
Yes, I'm
You're Sots Cisco.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable. All right, well, welcome. Go ahead. So, get into your. We
were talking about the potato Olay seasoning.
Yes.
And how good that would be on my beer battered deep fried alligator.
Ooh.
No,
I've never eaten gator. I'm kind of afraid of that.
You know, and it's real simple. It's going back kind of old school, man. The old boxes of beer batter that have been around since borax.
Yeah, that blue box that says beer batter.
Yes,
I get it mixed up with the borax, and that makes for a bad meal.
No, that makes, that'll pure cleanse your system.
Yes, it will.
So,
are you doing your hog cast?
As a matter of fact,
we are right
yeah.
now. Yeah. Welcome.
Well, I'm going to be loud, so keep it down, okay?
And that's what happens at the Hogcast.
That's called interrupting the flow. Is what that
No, so
is.
there's my deep fried beer battered alligator that it's really cool because you drop that in, it's like seafood. As soon as it rises up, which was within minutes, as soon as it rises to the top, you pull it and take some of that seasoning. I'm imagining this part.
Okay.
The potato
Because you haven't
seasoning.
actually done
Alligator
but John's.
That's where Alligator John's. Wait a minute, we could start something there. As James is eating his little artificially lab-made crackers with fake cheese.
Peanut butter. Still delicious.
So that would you're thinking. So ultimately, one of your bucket list things would be to get your hands on potato Olay seasonings and put it over alligator meat.
Oh, or even smoked rattlesnake. I mean, that would be real. I just like that salt in that.
No, I do too.
And to really season a good rattler, a good thick, juicy rattler on a Traeger.
See, I haven't eaten a lot of weird game.
Me neither.
You know, I know you'll go places and they'll have like the He-Man platter. It's got, this,
Ostrich
and all these weird meats, and you'll always hear, well, it tastes like chicken. I'm like, well, I'm fine with chicken.
Right.
All right, and there's a lot of them, so I'm going to keep eating
chicken.
them. You go ahead and keep your ocelot.
But they're doing
or whatever it
something.
is.
So how do you think they're getting the flavor of the chicken? I mean, we've always said it tastes like chicken, but how are they getting the taste of that chicken in the Petri dish chicken breast?
Oh, don't even get me started on the fake processed meat. We went off on this for an hour on your deck before we came in here.
Yes, we did.
I won't eat lab meat, which just... And I know that a lot of the meat that I order from places... Probably isn't. Look, I think there's scientists in the fast food restaurants.
Additives. Is that how they cover that with the description?
I like it. No, when you read the back and it says may contain one of the following.
Yeah.
And if you don't even know, how the hell should I feel comfortable eating it?
It's fancy terminology for rat or mice.
Yes, it is.
The things that you're not going to Google or look up. Hey, don't face that into me.
I'd like to introduce you to the new member of the broadcast team. This is Punk the Skunk.
Punk.
Now, believe it or not, this skunk, for probably 25 years, sat beside me on the radio when I was on the air. So all of those years, I had no idea that this was actually a precursor to what my next career would be.
Now, why has it got to be a cursor? It's not necessarily... I don't like the terminology precursor, like you're being pre-cursed to do what we're doing. You are not. It's pre-blesser. It's a pre-blesser.
Whiny bitch.
hot minutes of
Beep. No, that pre-blesser has been with you for
this
25 years.
pre-blesser. How about
Yes,
that?
he has. Yes, he has. Go on about your pre-blesser.
So welcome. No, that's all I had to say. Welcome to the set, Punk. All right, good to have
we
you
need to
here.
take Punk on an adventure. Maybe put Punk in one of our live traps to demonstrate that we care about Punk and he would never be injured in one of our live traps.
You just keep your
As a
hands off my
pre-blesser.
skunk. This is my side of the room. That's yours. You just
Yes,
stay
it
over
is.
there. Goodness gracious. It's the Mike in the Mountain where,
Wait, did we do that already?
where music, laughter, and wildlife come to meet. Whoa.
Dude, that was heavy.
Huh?
Say it again.
It's the Mike in the Mountain where music, laughter, and wildlife come to meet. And that's really what this kind of thing is about. That's why it's the Mike in the Mountain. I've got a huge music background. It's what I lived with. It's been my blood forever. You with the mountain in the background, and both of us love to laugh. So if we can bring you through these podcasts, I'm going to talk about music some. It's my passion. It's what I get into. We're going to talk about wildlife because that's your passion and becoming mine as well. And we're going to laugh because that's what we like to do.
This is
so
a very serious podcast, man.
it is, which is why I would like to begin this episode, as
With the
if it hasn't
pre-blesser.
started already, with a pre-blessing to to the newest member of my family.
You had a baby.
Reginald Dean. My granddaughter Kersey got a fish, and she Googled me last night. Google duoed us to introduce us to her new fish named Reginald Dean.
Whoa,
So
here's
she's
to
got-
you, Reg.
Yeah. So Reggie, if you're watching,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So welcome.
What kind of fish is Reg?
He's one of those betas, or a Siamese fighting fish, if you will.
Betas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The one you can't put two of
Siamese
them in
fighting fish.
That's what they were called when I was
being
growing up.
racist.
Siamese
You're being
fighting
judgmental
fish? Okay, they're
against the
fighting
Siamese.
fish. No.
Maybe they didn't all fight. Maybe they loved one another. You're putting a precursor on the Chinese fighting fish.
Let's retract.
Siamese.
Let's go back a little bit and let's rewind to where I called you a whiny.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah.
I'm working overtime tonight, boy.
You certainly are. That's it.
Edit
I
that
didn't-
out.
I didn't
Okay.
know he was going to be emo today. That's usually me.
I'm not feeling well today.
Well, let's go with this. We started a new thing last week.
Yes, we did.
Where I was going to wear a different band or artist T-shirt each time we do a podcast.
Every time.
Last week we broke it in with the Flying
Waylon.
W with Waylon.
Yeah.
All right, so now we got kind of the Flying VH with Van Halen
come
today.
on, bro.
So we've got another end of the spectrum. Love me some Waylon, but I was cranking Van Halen,
Yes,
Women
you
and
were when
Children
you pulled
first
up.
album when I pulled
When
up.
you pulled up.
It got me in the mood when I put on the T-shirt. But I got to tell, one of my favorite. Every time I wear a shirt from an artist, I'd like to tell a little story about that artist and what the
Tell me
connection
you
is.
did not meet.
Dude, this was
No.
one of the most
on.
amazing things. I grew up in Bismarck, North Dakota. All right, that's where I spent my youth. And there weren't a ton of shows that rolled through Bismarck, North Dakota.
And when they did, it was in a barn, right? I mean, they did what they
No,
did.
it was at the Bismarck Civic Center, man.
Which was next to the barn.
Saturday at the Bismarck Civic Center.
Score!
The hottest band in the land, Van Halen. Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
Van Halen rolling into town. We're all jacked. It's the Women and Children First tour, the album I was listening to on the way in. And you know, when a concert came to town, that was an all-day party. You started early in the day. I mean, you were tailgating by the river. You were doing everything. You were getting ready for the concert, if you know what I mean.
It was like as big as Christmas.
Absolutely.
In Bismuth,
So
South Dakota.
we're driving around Bismarck, North Dakota, you
Oh, yeah.
a-hole. All right, so we're driving around. And, you know, we're killing time, and we go, hey, A&W, let's stop in, dude. You know, we're going to A&W.
yeah.
So we go into A&W in Bismarck, and we're sitting there, me and two of my buddies, and we look up, and here this big bus pulls into the parking lot. And we're like, no way. It couldn't be. Wouldn't that be just wild
Get
if that
outta
were Van
here,
Halen?
man.
We're sitting there. All of a sudden, the doors of the bus open. Out walks Alex, Eddie, Michael, and David Lee.
Are you kidding
All
me?
four members
Seriously?
of Van Halen come wandering into A&W, man, and they sat in a booth just catty corner from us. So we're sitting there just mouth open, not
No
saying a
kidding,
word,
man.
just staring at Van Halen. David's in there. He's wearing a vest, no T-shirt. I remember all this so well.
Seriously.
Eddie Van Halen kept going up to the counter and grabbing packets of sugar and salt, coming back to the table, opening them and pouring them in a huge pile on his table in front of him. As if he was going to do a line of Coke or something,
No
but it
way.
was, he's making this huge pile
Just
of sugar and salt.
abstract as all get out,
just
man.
odd. Just pouring it on
Wow.
there. And we're just staring, as are like the three other people in the restaurant who are there. But my friend Nathan was the cook. He was the one who was frying the burgers at the
He
time.
cooked for them.
He's back
Dude,
there.
that's off the hook,
and
man.
I know Nathan's working, and I'm watching David Lee Roth, and he looks over, finally he stares back at the kitchen. He goes, "Hey, you want to quit staring at us and make our effing burgers?"
No way.
Yeah, that was it. And Nathan's like, "David Lee Roth just chewed my
Told
ass.
me.
Man, that is so cool. That is so cool." And he was like, it was
No way,
and
man.
We did not leave. We sat there and we watched them eat their food. Till that, they loaded back on the bus, headed out, and we had this unbelievable memory of watching Van Halen eat A&W burgers
And this
and
was
drinking
before
root beer.
cell phones, and
Oh,
so
of
you
course.
didn't get a.
No, there's
Right,
no,
right.
yeah, there were no pictures. There was no nothing. There's just, it's
Wow.
forever etched in my brain. But it
Did they
it
have
did
on the
happen.
yoga pants and the whole 9 yards?
I don't remember. I was so taken back. David, I just know, was shirtless with his vest on, and there was a
Wow.
lot of hair
Wow.
sitting over there.
Wow.
At the time, but that as a young rock and roll fan, that's about as cool
sure.
as it got
Oh, no
at that
kidding,
point,
man.
man. That was
No
awesome.
kidding.
So yeah, I saw Van Halen, and that night, David Lee Roth starts going into Jamie's Crying, one of my favorite Van Halen songs. And like he did at many concerts during that time when he was just trashed all the time, the song starts, he gets about 2 words into it. He goes, wait, I forgot the effing lyrics. Let's start that again. That's it. And of course, everyone, this is the greatest show ever.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if he sang at all.
Right,
But
right.
it was...
Well, he wasn't lip syncing, right?
No, certainly wasn't. No, because you couldn't lip sync that bad. But of course, the greatest show of our lives. That was it. But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
so
no
there's
doubt.
the Van Halen story that goes with that.
Love it, man.
Yeah. All right.
it.
While I'm pumped up, let me get all the adrenaline fueled stuff out. Okay.
Roll it, baby.
All right, you started
Roll
this.
it.
You played Five Finger Death
didn't
Punch
start.
before we started.
Well, that's because
That was for you.
I wanted to share it with you.
Well, thank you. It
Went right along with our fake cheeseburgers.
No, what it goes right along with is what happened at my house over the weekend. I nearly had to call you boys for assistance.
Yeah, and you realize we knew your wife had been on vacation for a full week.
Right.
And she was back, and
Oh,
there
no.
was probably no chance of getting any help from us.
No, and understand that. But
I'm just saying.
no, and you're right on.
Okay,
but,
yeah. I love you, bro.
I love you too. No, but
our love ain't that strong.
This came as I've complained before to you. I don't know that I've done it on the podcast. I have this neighbor directly across the street from me who at least every other weekend, I swear it's every weekend, but I know I'll be exaggerating, at least every other weekend, the dude has a massive garage sale. It's not just, I understand having a garage sale, you got some items, you're going to get rid of it, make some extra cash. This is a
Right.
bona fide business. Because when you have a stroller section, not just a couple, there's like 8. They're out there at all times. Bicycles. They put up all these features for the kids to play in while everyone shops at their.
Are they selling
at the-
Kool-Aid? Is there a Kool-Aid stand?
There was watermelons. There were concessions. I was waiting for all this.
Are you
and again,
serious?
no, it sure looked like it. Okay, I may be exaggerating.
Dude,
on
if
the
you tell me a
concessions.
taco truck shows
No,
up for
and
the
that's
garage
why
sale, I'm coming to the
would
garage sale.
I be complaining if
No,
there
you
were?
would not. No, you
okay,
would, but I know you. You may or may not tell me that a taco truck showing up for the garage sale. every
You're right
weekend.
on that. But
See,
in this
I
case,
knew
there
that.
was no taco truck. There was just my dickhead neighbor who is out having this, and he has, again, constantly, he's lived there for 5 years, and I have never, in the 5 years, have we made eye contact or spoke to each other.
Really?
He's just one of those neighbors. He's a hot-headed young dude who I came out because we're documenting all these garage sales because legally you can only have 2 a year.
Really?
All right. But he has these big ones that attract so much traffic, and you can't even let your kids go out and play, on the weekend because there's all of this traffic going by. So we've been building up, just taking pictures, and, you file a complaint. And I hate to be that guy. I don't like to be the complainer guy, but this has gone on for years and years and years, and finally
Listen,
you just
it's in
had
your
it.
subdivision. It's across the street from your house. Our homes are a retreat.
Starting to have an influence, all right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I
get
stepped
that.
outside to get a better picture just of all the traffic and what was going on. As I take the picture, he looks over and sees me taking the picture.
Yeah?
He goes, "You taking pictures, bro?" I said, "Yeah, I'm taking a picture of the garage sale." "Get back in your house."
No,
"Go back in your
didn't.
house, old man. Get back in your house."
No way.
Now, since I am older, as he stated, I had to step forward a little bit in my yard to hear clearly what he was saying. And as I stepped forward, he goes, "You want some of this, bro?" To my response being, I did not take the high road, which I should have. I responded, of course, with the, "Do you want some of this, bro?" That's
you did
it.
not throw the bro back at
I
him.
did. And then he's going
Bro.
back. And it's this dialogue across the street where he's continually telling me to go back in my house. And which, if you tell me to go in my house, the first thing I'm going to do is grab a chair and sit in my lawn.
Please tell me your video in this whole
I just got the
conversation.
beginning of it. But so I did not go inside. I expressed to him or showed him the exact number of front doors I have in my house. And then I went back. Again, looking back, this was not the godlike thing to do. It wasn't the peaceful thing to do.
Right.
I had just had it.
Some
And I wasn't
testosterone
expecting to
built
get
up.
jumped in my front yard of you telling me to go back in my home.
Right.
So we, watched this go on. I sat outside for probably another 10 minutes with my wife, and she comes out, "Oh, there's the other one." And they're hollering, they're doing all this
and I know
stuff.
your wife, man.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
They didn't challenge her, did they?
No, they did not.
They didn't
No, that would have been
challenge-
really stupid.
No, I wouldn't even challenge. I love
So
you, Kylie.
I'm trying to think. Okay, no, number one, I got to take the high road, and I've already said to myself, look, if dude were to come out again and start hollering, the greatest victory is apathy. If you act like you don't even notice them and that it doesn't bother you in the least bit, you win.
Right,
All right. So I caved, and I did not come out on top on that. It felt good at the
Yeah.
moment,
Oh, yeah.
but then it just left me in a bad energy for the rest of the day.
Yeah, for
It
sure.
really did, because I was thinking, I kept thinking about that, and it brought me there. So I've decided the only thing that I can do to really make me feel better is this weekend I am organizing the shortest motorcycle run in the history of Northern Colorado, where I would like hundreds of bikes to meet me at my house, and we're just going to go for a short ride around the block. And
So
end
you
up
can do it the
back at
most?
my place. And I'm just thinking it'd be fun. My other thought was just having you and James come over and we'll just sit in the front yard.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. No, I mean, I have changed myself too with the whole apathy thing.
Yes.
I still don't know what that means, but it sounded really
Nor
good the
do
way
you
you put
care.
it. No, I'll just say I got some because I think what I understood you say. Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I found what's
Yes.
really fun.
Yeah, please share with me, Scott. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I used
This
to be.
is the don't do this at home portion of the program.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. We're not going to go into what I used to do because
Yeah, no, that's.
I've repented.
I've
repented. Okay. I have been delivered.
I
So
understand.
now I blow kisses.
Okay.
I totally blow kisses, man. You want to trip somebody? Road rage, man. Seriously, the guy is tripping, freaking, and who knows? Maybe you did do something wrong, or you didn't turn your blinker on, or whatever. But man, just
That
Oh, bro.
diffuses things, doesn't it?
bro, man. Well, it diffuses things in your mind. Okay, that isn't it. It burns the fuse right out of the end of that thing on the other side. Yeah, there's no fuse left when you start blowing kisses and. But dude, try that.
I'll try that
because, dude, it trips brothers that are just
I'll do
amped
that
with
because he really got some
testosterone.
pretty new cornrows in his head. I call him cornholio.
Cornrolio.
Yeah, and I'll be sure to blow a kiss cornrow.
So, bro, listen,
lights,
man,
yeah.
we're about the love, the peace. Mwah.
Well, I just had to get that off
gotta
my
do
chest. It feels a little bit better.
Again,
I didn't do the
it
right
lingers
thing.
with you. No, we never do the right thing.
no, I
What
did
is the
wrong.
right thing? In this world today, what is the right? The right thing for around here is I've got signs on the gate and there's a make my day law. I mean, right? I would pepper you with love.
You know what the right thing to do,
kisses
though, is in all honesty, this is for everybody,
what is
and
the
we
right
can
thing to do?
solve all of these problems that we're having and all of the issues. If
Right on.
everyone would just take it upon themselves to not be an asshole. You know, in all seriousness, that's just you know, it goes back to the do
Agreed,
unto
man.
others thing. But if everyone would quit being a jerk.
I
quit
get what
being
you're
a-
saying, but do you feel like in this day and age, there's about 200 definitions now to asshole?
Oh,
I mean, it's all in perception now, man. I mean, I happen to be a connoisseur.
I understand. Well, we've seen a lot of them. There's
yes,
a lot of
we
different.
have.
Yes,
Seriously, man. No, I get what you're saying,
but everyone just needs
but
to
everybody's
be kind.
got their own kind. That's another one. Dude,
That's
I
all
look
part
at
of it.
myself as one of the kindest individuals I know, but others don't quite see it that way.
Perception. Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I still think that's what it comes down. If you yourself take it upon yourself to just be considerate, nice, kind, and not an a-hole,
Right.
we'll all be better off. It's the golden rule. It used to be do unto others as you would have them do unto you, right?
Absolutely.
Now it's just
Right.
don't be an a-hole. That's it sums up, it means really the same
And
thing.
if you'd have just explained to the cat that you're trying to educate yourself in the proper way to throw a garage sale, that you can generate revenue and friendship and love, and what not to do is what he was doing to you.
Why don't you come over and explain that to him for me?
I would love to.
Okay, thank you.
No, I can't. It's been a long time since I've been in jail, and I'm not going back. It was a okay. So what do you got next?
No, next on the list.
Yeah.
All right. I was similar. Here's a segue
no.
for you. No.
Segway. There you went Segway.
I did,
I'm going
I
to buy
did.
a Segway.
You should.
I'm going to buy one of them little.
I wanna
I'm going
see
to park
you
it right
riding
next
one
to
of
my
those.
moped.
And we'll all ride them around my block.
Dude, we can Segway it and put our hair up in bows and flowers
that's
and
going to be awesome.
sprinkle pixie dust.
Well, this weekend, I was held at Wife Point.
What,
Now, I think
see?
we've all had this happen where you're forced to do something by your wife. That is the term of being held at Wife Point, where, you know, I don't want to go shop for this, but I'm being held at Wife Point. I got to go. All right. That was, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. And James doesn't. He doesn't know any of that yet.
James,
right
have you
to start your notepad.
No, have you done things
your
at
paper.
Wife Point yet, James?
Oh, wife point and dumbass husband of the move week thing as well too. But no, it's happening. You know, 10 years in a relationship, you're bound to do something and be hostage to something.
Oh, yes. Well, and it's part of being a good spouse is just going along with it and not referring to it as being held at Wife Point. But we had this issue. Every time my wife would go to get into her car, she was attacked by hornets. To where they're coming after her. She runs into the garage because she knows we've got the one shot in there where you spray them. It takes
20
care
feet?
of them. Yeah, that
Yeah,
25 foot.
yeah.
So she runs into the garage to get it because they're chasing her. And she goes in, and we had just been trying to clean our garage, and there was like a blockade to where she gets there to reach for the hornet killer. and it's blocked to where she's just inches from getting it. It's like every horror movie you see.
Oh, yeah.
She's being chased, reaching for the
Nightmares
chainsaw to
about
feel,
that.
to get the hockey mask wearing guy away, and can't quite reach it.
Right.
So she can't get it. She's trying to use a grabber, finding a paint stick, trying to do anything to get this hornet spray off. Nothing. So she's got to retreat, right? So then she goes, all right, at dusk tonight, I need you to go out and find these hornets. I said, honey, I'm a critter getter. I don't do bugs.
Yes,
which is what I learned from you right away.
Yeah, good job.
Thank
buddy.
you very much.
But you did it anyway, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I was held at wife point.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, we went and examined her rear view mirrors, the side mirrors on her car.
Right.
And right behind the glass, you could see 3 combs.
On her mirror, on her vehicle?
Inside the mirror, right behind the glass, these buggers had gone in there and just filled it with a comb for them to live in on both sides.
Wait a minute. Did she not drive this car much?
It sits quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It sits a bit. Yeah.
Man.
So again, we had rabbits use my daughter's trunk as a latrine. Now we've got, hornets building.
Welcome to wildlife.
Yes,
yeah.
So I got the hot shot out and did the, went back and and every time I obliterate either an anthill or a hornet's nest, I sit back and to myself say, those hornets are going to be writing about this one for years to come. Remember that day Brian came and decimated the entire population? Yeah, I do. Yeah. So I took care of them bad boys right there.
That's a funny point, though, man. I have not heard, with this year, with the heat, the way it's been, and dry, man, I thought it was going to be bad for wasps, hornets, yellow jackets. You are the very first person, seriously, that I've heard of. I mean, typically we get calls about it. I've not had any calls.
They're all at my place, apparently.
That must be what it is. Well, it's your initiation to welcome to Critter Gator.
Well, and I found out where all the grasshoppers are living. I went out to Susan, who I did a morning show with for years, Susan Moore. Her and her husband, Dr. Bob. We always go out. We get together on Sundays for breakfast, and we got together for breakfast at their place, and just one side of their house completely inundated with thousands of grasshoppers.
Really?
Just coming. And Susan is saying still, she said, I am so pissed at Noah. How did those 2 grasshoppers talk their way onto the ark? And which is a good thing, because I can just see them going, no, really, let us on. Oh, come on. What are we going to do? It's not like we're going to eat everything.
Well, and wasn't that in the Bible, too? Wasn't that part of a plague? I mean...
Yeah, how'd they sneak in?
Right.
Who did they convince to go, no, hey, Badger, come here. You let 2 of us in. We promise all we're going to do is eat crops. We'll leave your stuff, and we're just going to freak the hell out of people with how we look, okay?
You're having a critter conversation. I'm trying to keep up with you. I'm just thanking God the rattlesnakes got on board, because I enjoy rattlesnake.
Well, you look forward to that. You look forward to when there's going to be snakes, which is, as I segue into the next portion of what I wanted to talk about, that is what is missing for me right now when I get into a bit of funk and so forth. No, something to look forward to. I'm one of those people who always need something to look forward to. Like, I'd be one who would buy a movie or rent a movie or know something's coming out. Oh, I got that to look forward to. I'm going to watch that. Or there was a ball game or something that was important to me, or a fight, and it's like, oh, I'm really looking forward to. I got that to look forward to. I always need that carrot to dangle in front of me for something to look forward to.
Don't we all, though?
It gives and I believe that we do, and I think that's a lot of where the funk and sadness and anger that a lot of people are feeling right now is all the things we had to look forward to. People used concerts for that, vacations, getaways, pleasurable things. Those for this time have been taken. They're not available to us at this time. So finding that thing to look forward to can be kind of bleak.
Yeah.
When you look ahead at your schedule,
absolutely.
where I've got this. So what you need to do is find those things, whether it's a fishing trip, whether it's an outdoor
and
excursion.
And it's hard, man. It's hard because a lot of people have taken that same path.
Yep.
They've went out, they've bought guns, campers, 4-wheelers, side-by-sides, going to the mountains, and now they get up there, they're oblivious. They're everywhere. Everywhere. You're not even, it's not even comfortable, and it's not safe. Listen, I just got word about the sand dunes in Walden, Colorado. From what I hear, there's a really good chance they're getting ready to shut them down. Not because of the crazy, I mean, it's always been kind of crazy up there on the sand dunes with motorcycles and stuff like that. But now there's so many people. And you know what's horrible about this? When these folks leave for the weekend, trash. Dude, that kills me. Listen, I get a lot's going on, but man, there's some simple things in life, like pick up after yourself. Haul it in, haul it out. That's always been one of the signs that's been up there. Haul in what you haul out, haul out what you haul in. You bring trash in, take trash out, and we've always been that way with a lot of the ranches that we manage. When we go in there, man, if we're doing nuisance wildlife control, protecting sheep or cows or whatever we're doing on these places, if I see trash, I will beeline out of my way to get that trash and pick it up, whether it blew in. Now, these are way up in the mountains, so that trash, God only knows where it comes from. But that's another reason why some of these ranches we work on, they don't let hunters in. Everybody bitches about, we can't even hunt anywhere. It's all private land and nobody will let you in and the guy's got it rented up. That's all true, but we didn't really set the stage or make the mark we should have in the beginning. By taking care, respecting that owner's land. Same thing with the parks up there in Walden, Colorado, man. If you went up there and you did that, man, shame on you. Shame on you, man. This are national parks. These are there for us. Our taxpayer money pay for this. Hunter's license, fisher's license, they all pay for this stuff. You're going to go up and do that? Come on, man. Where's the respect? Educate, understand, and respect. I'm telling you what, I don't think we'll ever get that through thoroughly to anybody, man. It's disappointing.
It's funny you bring that up because I still have a vision of we were in a beautiful area checking for beavers.
Yeah.
And you'd look downstream and there's a water bottle stuck in the middle of the stream.
Totally depressing.
And it does. It's
Totally
amazing.
depressing.
And I really date myself, but I'm old. I'm 54 years old. I remember as a kid, one of the most impactful commercials I ever saw was an Indian gentleman standing on the side of the road crying because of the trash that was thrown out.
Yeah.
That statement has stuck with me forever, and that's the first thing I think of when I see like a water bottle in a stream.
Right.
I think of that crying image that I had, as a child of seeing that, and it makes you feel that way.
It does. And you know what I think? This is kind of twisted, man.
No, go ahead.
But I look at these critters and I think, what do they talk about in the morning when they're all coming home from at night, talking about the trash here and trash there? I can imagine them saying, don't worry, they'll be gone soon. Seriously, man, let's reflect and look at this. What are we doing, folks? And it's the wildlife, it's nature, it's Mother Earth going, give them time. Look at them. Look at them. Give them time. They'll be gone soon.
We may have larger brains, but we may be the dumbest creature that is out there.
Right. We're worried about a Petri dish chicken breast.
Oh, we're back to there.
But we're not worried about what happens if electricity goes out and it's going to be out for a year. What? Seriously, God forbid my popsicles thaw and my kids throw a fit because they're drinking the juice out of the bag.
Oh, Mr. Freeze Pops, those Otter Pops.
Got them, tons of them.
Oh, yeah.
Tons of them. So, it's bigger than just what we see or hear on TV, man, and that's where we're going to take it. That's where people that get the opportunity to come with us to experience what we can give them, you and I. Dude, how simple is it to get there at that river? And I looked at you and I said, sit down.
Oh, never forget it.
Shut up.
Yep. I heard so much.
Brother, it was a symphony.
It was. It was.
Beyond anything anybody can imagine, but everybody's so caught up. I don't know. Sorry, man. I could go on and on, dude. I know that they make jokes and wisecracks in the dens all day and all night about, they'll be gone soon, honey. They'll be gone soon. Don't you worry.
I don't doubt it in the least bit. I want to swing back to something we talked about on the last podcast because I thought of a couple things I wanted to ask you that I didn't.
Uh-oh.
Scott, when we were talking about the show Alone, which I'm hooked on the new season, you had been hooked on the past ones that were available on Netflix. Yeah. I absolutely love this show because it's really, it's what we do. It's the walk we walk right now. And for me to see this is just, it's very eye-opening. And now I understand a lot of the things that I've seen. In the past when I watched it, I didn't. But now being with you, I do.
Being with you, I do.
I do.
Thank you.
But we talked about this show last time and how I just think you're made for this. It would be just great TV to see Scott Cisco on Alone and to see you out on this and how you would handle it. The social aspect, you don't have you're by yourself,
right?
You know, which I know you thrive on, but I think you need people more than you let on.
Oh, I agree.
You know, as far as that vibe,
absolutely.
You know, what would you? Everyone's allowed to take a few things out there. I just watched this last week. This guy with a knife. With just his hand knife, took down about a 600-700 pound muskox, and his gratitude for being able to get that. I mean, you saw it, you felt it come through when he was removing the internal organs because he talked about the nutrients and that this is probably the most beneficial part of the animal for him.
Right.
As he's right there cutting off a piece of heart and eating it.
Like a hero, like that meat on Heroes.
Yes. Shaving the lamb off of there. Yeah. And he was just cutting that off and just eating. He said, it's still warm. This is just the most beneficial meat. And he's licking the blood off of his hands. And for a lot of people, it's like, wow, that's really vivid. And for me, it's like, wow, because he's so grateful through the whole process. So he obviously brought a knife with him. I don't know what all you're allowed, but if you had just off the top of your head, if you had to bring 3 to 5 things with you, can you think of what you would definitely bring along on something like that, Scott? To survive? I've got to imagine that is a knife, fishing line, twine,
you're
things like
spot
that?
on all that stuff. And I think if I recall right, I could be off on this, but I think they said they gave him like 30 items.
30 items, really?
And that's, to me, wow. Dude, you give me 30 items? But what I want to talk about with this show, man, people are digging this and getting into this and feeling whatever they're feeling about the heart, but this was survival. This was how it was done. And you know what? Back in the day when that dude on the first show, 4 days in, broke his leg, you don't get a phone. You're going to die of infection. You're going to splint that up. You're going to starve to death. The reality, I love that now nature and survival shows are reality TV. But no, man, this was real. And there is, listen, for all those that think that this isn't ever going to happen again, ask them what they're talking about. Anything could happen, man. Anything could happen. We cannot settle for mediocrity and think that everything's perfect, man. We constantly have to be doing the best we can do. And so with those 30 items, man, if I got to go on that show and they gave me 30 items, dude, you know what's going to disappoint me during the whole show? It's when they show up with my wife and tell me everybody's out. Really? Seriously,
already?
Man?
That's
No, that's what was, dude, that was the disappointment for me on the first one. Yeah.
What are you doing here, Jackie?
Right. No. What? This was supposed to go 2-3 years. I have 30. I haven't even broke into like 18 of the items I brought. Seriously. No, I say all this to say that I'd get on the show, catch a cold, and die of pneumonia the next day.
Really, be the first one out.
But it's nature, man. It's survival.
Well, do you, as we talk about this world all the time and so forth, and everyone's always looking ahead, technology, how do we come up with the next this and the next that? As the world is constantly advancing and trying to look forward, don't you find that most of the answers and what we really need to do is look back?
Yes. And dude, technology, let's talk about technology, man, because Dude, I've been getting the advertisements because of the things that I watch on Google and YouTube and stuff, and they are listening to me because they send me some pretty cool stuff.
Absolutely, they know what you're thinking.
But there's a couple of these watches, man, that are stellar, dude. They read the temperature, your heart rate, this. When the battery goes dead, you're done.
That's right.
Okay, and if you ain't got your little solar plug-in charger thing, you better hope to God that never dies, because then that's done. The basics of survival: start a fire, build a shelter, find meat, understand the forage around you. Man, I don't know, dude. I go crazy. I know technology's got a place, and I love it. And I think it's got great,
I'm embracing it more and more.
As am I. I got 2 phones. I still don't know how to use them, but I love going through them. And thank God James has got what he refers to as the F up button.
Yes,
that he can take care of anything I do wrong. So I learned that's
Control Z on my computer. Seriously, that has saved mine
I don't
over
know what
and over.
Control Z is. But no, technology is great. And would I take anything technologically advanced on the show with me? Nah. Man, the only thing I got is their battery packs and stuff filming me.
Let me correct you.
Is this going into the new Vibro Thursday?
No.
Oh. Sorry, it was just some. Sorry, I don't even know where that come from. No, that's a back massager I have. That, right?
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, where were you going? I left the building for a moment.
I don't even remember. What were you talking about?
No, well, I
just
nothing.
wifed you. I just totally wifed you. James, you want to
get you guys back in? We're talking about the technological things that
yes.
never bring.
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped because he will bring. Tell me this: you're out there, you're catching these fish. Maybe you got yourself a squirrel. Tell me they wouldn't be delicious in the air fryer. Okay, it's you.
That would
29 items and an air fryer on the island.
That would be one of the mental breakdowns that had eventually destroyed me. It was that I was exposed to an air fryer prior to going on the show.
I just wanted to clear that up.
No, I got to be, and you guys know me well enough, man. One of my 30 items will be a Himalayan salt grinder.
That's right.
I gotta have me some salt, bro. I can do without, unless I find a salt rock or something, a salt lick, something.
You need your Himalayan salt.
I gotta have some salt, man.
Dude,
yeah,
no,
that.
I've got to see the smallest bottle you're gonna have.
No,
I want to see how you portion that.
No, they make the big ones.
I know
as long as they don't size restrict me.
Right.
I'm going the big Himalayan
I'm
salt.
concerned about you. Restricting you. Day one, that thing's gone, and you're just going after the crumbs.
Salted squirrel.
That's right. No, it's got his mouth watering. That's it. Oh, well, on a last note, new technology thing my daughter saw that had to point it out to me. Masks I've got so many masks now. My wife just bought me this camouflage one that's pretty cool and all this. And my daughter comes home and says, now Hanes is making masks. Okay. Now Hanes are the makers of underwear. So when she told me they were making masks, I said, well, is there a hole out front to stick your nose out of, or you just flip it over the top?
Yeah. Let's talk about, as men, how we have disrespected the thunder from down under, in the sense that you tell me you haven't put on a mask that you didn't realize you've been wearing for a while and you haven't washed it. You put that dirty mask on, you're like, what's that? What's that smell? And it's your dirty mask. I've disrespected the thunder. Man, I'm changing my toners 3 times a day as I respect my body and myself.
So you're telling me that
I can breathe clearly.
Stinky ass breath in your mask has made you think that you need to change your underwear more often?
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. Hey, if anything good comes out of this whole thing, it's that Scott will be fresher.
Good.
Okay, that's it.
Hey, some people use.
No, I had said in closing, I got one more thing. I did all that, and then
Well, I thought that was important for folks to understand. And
No,
listen,
I don't think.
You sometimes get the swamp or the chafe, but there is things you need to consider as your face mask has made us aware that we're not taking care of ourselves thoroughly. That stuff needs cleanliness. It needs to breathe freshness.
that was it. I'm gonna go home. I'm
Change
gonna
your
take a shower.
choners.
Yeah, that's right.
Change your choners. Change your choners. Seriously, respect yourself.